Conduct competency assessment. Establish the context and purpose of assessment. The assessor must familiarize self with the qualification or unit of competencies to be assessed. Ensure that the assessment site complies with the relevant occupational health and safety requirements. Ensure that the assessment resources are available. The assessor must ensure that the tools, equipment, and facilities are ready and available in the assessment site before the assessment starts. A checklist of tools, equipment, and facilities must be on hand to help the assessor monitor the availability and completeness of the tools, equipment, and facilities. The checklist of tools, equipment, and facilities is included in the assessor's guide. Plan and prepare the evidence gathering process. The assessor shall receive assessment package composed of the following: 1 copy of assessor's guide, specific instruction to the candidate, competency assessment results summary, written report, written test, answer sheets, rating sheets according to the methods of assessment to be used corresponding to the number of candidates. Prepare the candidate. The assessor shall introduce herself.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Leonor Valdez, and I am your Competency Assessor for Housekeeping NC2.
Acknowledge the presence of the tester representative, Assessment Center Manager, and Processing Officer.
And I would like to acknowledge the presence of Ms. Neri Baldimore, our Processing Officer, Ms. Arian La Chica, our AC Manager, and Mr. Din Isaac Garoneda, our representative from TESDA Provincial Office. Good morning, sir. Good morning, ma'am. You do not have to worry about their presence. They're here to oversee the conduct of assessment and to check if the conduct of assessment is in accordance with the prescribed competency assessment, methodology, and procedure.
Check attendance and identity of candidates and collect admission slips.
Before we start, please submit your admission slip. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Instruct the candidates to sign on the attendance sheet.
As I call your name, please acknowledge by raising your hand and sign the attendance sheet. Army Kinalayo. Please sign. Ms. Joy T. Cepeda.
Present to the candidates an accomplished application form with self-assessment guide and explain its significance.
I have here with me your accomplished application form and self-assessment guide. This is an indication that you know and can perform all the unit of competency enumerated for Housekeeping NC2.
Conduct orientation to the candidates. The assessor must explain the context and purpose of the assessment.
I would like to welcome all of you to our center for your assessment for Housekeeping NC2. The purpose of our assessment for Housekeeping NC2 is to determine the level of your competency.
Qualifications or units of competency to be assessed.
Today, I am going to administer competency assessment for Housekeeping NC2. The qualification for Housekeeping NC2 is composed of basic, common, and core competencies. For our core competencies, we do have provide housekeeping services to guests, clean and prepare rooms for incoming guests, provide valet and butler services, laundry linen and guest clothes, clean public areas, facilities, and equipment, and deal with handle intoxicated guests.
Tasks to be performed and the evidence to be collected.
The different tasks to be performed for our Housekeeping NC2 assessment are the following: making up bed, valet servicing such as shoe polishing and packing of guest clothes, laundering linen and guest clothes, the proper use of tools, materials, and equipment for cleaning the premises. We will collect evidences through demonstration, oral questioning, and written tests.
Assessment procedures to be undertaken.
To determine your knowledge and skills for housekeeping NC2, the assessment method we will use will be written tests, demonstration, and oral questioning. These assessment methods can help to measure your underpinning knowledge and skills.
Needs of the candidates to be considered during the assessment.
For your personal needs, the lavatory is located at the end of the hallway, and you can also take your meal at our canteen. It is located at the lobby. However, during the assessment, you are not allowed to leave the premises of the assessment center.
Allowable or reasonable adjustments when applicable.
If you have difficulty understanding the given instruction, please do not hesitate to inform me because we are willing to translate it for you. Also, during the written examination, if you have dilemma writing down your answers, don't be shy because we can accept your answers verbally.
Do's and don'ts during the assessment.
If you have concerns, questions, or there is a need for you to clarify matter concerning the assessment, you may raise your hands because I am more than willing to assist you. But once the assessment has started, please refrain from asking questions. It is no longer allowed. In the same token, during the assessment, if you have physical or any form of difficulties, do not hesitate to call my attention so that we can address it immediately.
Rights and appeal system.
In case you have any questions regarding the assessment result, you have the right to appeal. You can submit your appeal to the TESDA Provincial Office where the assessment center and the assessor are accredited.
Issuance of national certificate or certificate of competency.
For the issuance of the national certificate, the AC manager shall inform you where you can claim your national certificate within 5 working days after the assessment.
Reassessment procedures.
After the assessment and you are found to be not yet competent, don't worry about it because you can be reassessed anytime at your own convenience. In case the reassessment is full qualification, you have to undergo the whole assessment process. If you are found to be competent in some unit of competencies, the reassessment shall focus in the unit of competencies where you were found to be not yet competent. Also, if you failed 2 consecutive assessments, you will be advised to undergo a refresher course before applying for reassessment.
Occupational safety and health requirements.
During the actual assessment, please observe safety as you perform the different tasks. Make sure to check on your electrical equipment before plugging it. Avoid pulling the cord as you unplug the equipment. Observe proper body mechanics when lifting heavy equipment to avoid back injuries. In case of accidents, please call my attention immediately so that we can provide you with first aid. And should the need arise, our first aid cabinet is located on the right side of the laundry workshop.
And confidentiality of assessment outcomes.
With regards to the result of your assessment, we observe strict confidentiality. This is to ensure your integrity. The result is only made available to authorized personnel and to the institution where you had your actual training. In relation to this, the assessment package is kept in a secured place to guarantee the integrity of the assessment package. In lieu of the above, may I ask all candidates to refrain from giving away any form of information that took place during the assessment process.
Provide each candidate a copy of the specific instruction to the candidate.
If you don't have any questions or clarifications, then I'm going to distribute the specific instructions. Please read them carefully and do not hesitate to ask questions right now. I may be able to translate it from English to your local dialect. If you need assistance, then I will be more than willing to assist you.
The assessor explains and guides the candidates in interpreting the instruction and shall ensure that the candidates understand the contents of the instruction. Assign numbers to the candidates.
I will give you your assigned number. Here's for you, ma'am. Thank you. And another one for you.
Instruct candidate number 1 to proceed to the assessment area while the other candidates stand by in the waiting area.
So everybody must be very ready now. Candidate number 1, you may please proceed to the assessment area. And for the rest of the candidates, please remain while I'll call you by your number. Thank you. This way, please.
Collect the evidence and make the assessment decision. To simulate the assessment process, 2 candidates will be shown performing the tasks in this video. One candidate will represent being competent, while the other one is not yet competent. Explain to the candidate the task to be performed.
Candidate number 1, this is our assessment area where you are going to perform bed making.
Ask the candidate to read the specific instruction to the candidate once more.
Please read the instruction again.
Ask if the candidate has questions or clarifications regarding the instructions.
If you have any question, you may ask now because as soon as the assessment begins, you can no longer ask me any question.
Mom, I don't have further questions.
In that regard, you may begin. Please be informed that after the demonstration, there will be oral questioning.
Okay, Mom.
Conduct assessment in accordance with the methodologies specified in the evidence plan and the specific instructions for the competency assessor. Implement the evidence gathering process and ensure its validity, reliability, fairness, and flexibility. Observe the candidate and keep notes of the candidate's performance during the entire conduct of assessment. These notes will be used for the provision of feedback to the candidate's performance during the assessment. Collect appropriate evidence and match compatibility to the elements, performance criteria, range of variables, and evidence guide in the relevant units of competency. Judge the evidence in terms of the dimensions of competency: task skills, task management skills, contingency management skills, and job or role environment skills. Judge the evidence in terms of validity, consistency, currency, recency, authenticity, and sufficiency. After the demonstration, the candidate will be asked a series of questions based on her performance during the bed making for the oral questioning. The candidate number 1 is able to answer all the questions asked by the assessor. The candidate number 2 will also be able to answer the questions, though some of her answers are incorrect. Record and rating sheet details of evidence collected and judgment made about the candidate's performance.